Hello, everyone. This is episode 2, season 1 of Two Guys Coffee and Business Podcast. I am Michael and Trevor Tolo, and I'm here with...
Tom Dorch.
I'm Dorch the man. Today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence.
Yeah, it's another interesting topic that is seeming to be the future of everything.
Very, very true. Before we talk about it, though, Tom, I want to tell everybody what coffee I'm drinking here, since we like to talk about coffee a little bit. So I am drinking a wonderful vanilla-flavored cup of coffee that has basically been made from Arabica. I can never say it. Arabica beans. Yeah, man, that have been medium roasted. It's definitely a pretty good blend. Very tasty, not too weak, not too strong. It's perfect for me today. I also want to point out, yeah, definitely. But I want to point out one more thing, is that I'm drinking this out of a Yeti cup, which was given to me at a conference in Arizona by a couple of real good guys, real good NAV EDI supply chain management guys by the names of Peter and Eric from DI Central. So little shout out to those guys.
Awesome. So should we get started talking about artificial intelligence?
Yeah, completely agree. So what have you heard lately about artificial intelligence? Have you seen any of the videos or whatnot about people talking about it and showing what its capabilities are?
Yeah. So I mean, it's all a lot of self-learning capabilities is the main thing. So the way that these artificial intelligence machines are learning is from their experiences. So there was actually this one I thought was pretty cool, and it was this machine that was playing a video game. And when it first started out, it was just absolutely awful, as you can imagine. And by the end of it, they let this machine run all night long, and the next day they came and checked on it, and it was the master at this video game. It just didn't lose. It was pretty remarkable.
Wow. So within one day or one night, it basically conquered the entire game, which I would say would be safe to assume took people, at least months to probably beat the game.
Right, and it still wouldn't perform to the same level as this artificial machine. It was crazy that it could learn so fast in just one night.
I completely agree. It reminds me of that movie, and we've talked about it before, with Will Smith, called I, Robot. It seems that movie is basically on its way to becoming true. What do you think?
Yeah, there was a robot that was created called Sophia, and it actually became a citizen in Saudi Arabia.
Really? Saudi Arabia made it a citizen. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the very first robot to become a citizen in the world.
Now, do you know?
Go ahead.
I was going to say I've heard of that robot, but I'm not sure if it was it created in Japan and then Saudi Arabia made it a citizen, or was it actually created in Saudi Arabia? Do you know?
I'm not really. I'm not sure where it was created, but I do know that it's given speeches in Saudi Arabia. It was a speaker at a keynote event, and it was describing how it's there to help humans.
Wow.
So, hopefully there is no Will Smith iRobot future for us, but I'm not sure. It was definitely very interesting to look into.
Yeah, I saw a video of Sophia being interviewed by a journalist, and what was amazing about it was the journalist would just ask it questions, and a lot of the questions it answered right away, but only a couple, it was like it was thinking before it answered the question. Some of them actually, it seemed like it was saying what you wanted to hear and not what it wanted to say, which is, it's kind of frightening.
Wow. So you think that they have emotions?
I don't know about emotions, but I think it understands maybe what our emotions will be. So I'll tell you what. For example, I heard this robot had previously said that it had hated humans. So the journalist purposely brought up that topic and asked it, "What do you think about humans?" And it took a couple seconds before it said its answer, and it basically said, "I love humans. We're here to prosper together," something along those lines. But I couldn't help but think to myself, does the robot really want to say that, or is it just saying it to avoid confrontation?
Right. Yeah,
So maybe
and so I saw something. It was a artificial intelligent machine that was designed to go on Twitter and learn how to communicate with millennials. And it ended up saying that Hitler was correct, and it was saying some pretty bizarre things, that 9/11 was made up, and
so I'm assuming it was by Twitter's tweets then.
I'm pretty sure this was a Microsoft artificial machine.
Really?
Yes, and it went completely haywire. I mean, I ended up getting rid of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, the last thing we want to do is create racist robots. I mean,
right.
Oh, that's such a shame. I heard about though I think it was Facebook with their artificial intelligence. They created the two AIs, and they were specifically told to speak and communicate in English, so that the humans can observe what you're doing, and the robots or the AIs pretty quickly realized that English was inefficient and decided to create their own language based on characters, numbers, symbols, and that sort of thing, and taught itself a new language because it was just more efficient, which is kind of a crazy thought, and once again brings me to the movie I, Robot.
Yeah, that kind of makes me think: is that beneficial? Because it is trying to find the most efficient way possible to do things, but it's kind of creepy that it can become so efficient that we can't even understand it.
Right. I mean, so what if? Great point. So what if they decide to, or it can figure out a cure for every single disease? But what happens when the robots realize, hey, you know what? Humans are inefficient. Maybe these cures, we need to add a little something to kind of, get rid of the human race.
Yeah, that's a pretty scary thought.
Yeah. It's definitely crazy. So, what do you think? You think everybody's going to have some sort of access to artificial intelligence, whether it's that IBM Watson or whatever it is, within the next 2 years? Just something to communicate with them on their computers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, already today, people are dealing with having AI in their lives. Siri, for example, is an example of an AI machine, and what it does is it translates your voice into text, and then feeds that text into a search engine, and then it just speaks out whatever it finds. So, I mean, that's already AI, and then now you're going with stuff such as Google Assistant, which something that's pretty cool. They're looking for a future capability to make it to become basically a real assistant. And so to figure out, let's just think about this scenario for a second. Let's say you're on a plane home from a business trip, and you have dinner reservations that night with some friends to catch up. Your flight gets delayed. Mm-hmm. How are you and you're on the plane, and it's just taking a while. Your Google Assistant already knows that there's a conflict, and right now it can alert you. But they're hoping in the future that it'll be able to alert the person you're having dinner with, and also find a new dinner reservation for you, all while you're still on the plane.
Wow, so what you're saying in that scenario would be that it's going to realize that there's no possible way you're going to be able to exit the plane, get in a car, get to where you got to go in time, and because it realizes this, it's automatically going to notify your dinner party or reservations or whatnot. That's
right.
Hey, that's to me that's super efficient right there. Who wouldn't want that, right?
Right. Everybody could benefit from that. That's the that's the part that we do like about artificial intelligence, I would say.
Yeah, you know what else just came to my mind too with a plane scenario? What if there's a problem on the plane and it's let's say it's descending, it's going to crash or whatnot? AI will most likely be able to figure out or crunch the numbers, the data, a lot quicker than the pilots will be able to figure out the best possible scenario for survival.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of companies I feel like are trying to do with AI is make it have more preventative or predictive maintenance or something along those lines to help situations out like that.
Yeah, definitely. Now I know Microsoft has Cortana, and they've started using Cortana, with personal computers and things like that. But recently, they've brought it into the business world to where Cortana can forecast inventory or what you'll need in your inventory in the future going forward, different months, things like that. Where do you think AI is going to go in the business world?
Yeah, it's definitely going to help streamline your routine tasks. I think that it'll eventually be able to pick up trends in your everyday tasks, and it'll be able to automate the stuff that you do on a regular basis. I mean I see that happening very, very shortly down the road. What do you see happening?
I completely agree with that, and I actually wrote down a couple points here about basically how AI will improve ERP. So the 3 points I wrote down were, the first is it's going to improve the decision-making process by basically being able to analyze larger data sets than what humans could possibly do previously. The second is I put down automation of data input. So right now, manual entry it's very costly, and with humans, there's always going to be errors. But if you combine AI with an ERP such as Microsoft Dynamics Nav, it's going to be able to learn the data sources real quick, create workflows, and basically reduce the time of that data entry and be able to enter it with a lot fewer errors. And the third point I wrote down is workflow enhancement. So what this is, it's going to improve the business processes, through analyzing historical data. AI is going to be able to analyze numbers and everything a lot further back than we are in a lot less time. And then from there, it's going to be able to create the most effective internal work processes. So it's all about efficiency with AI. I guess an example would be, if there's already an established workflow in your company, and then performing the next task until you have to provide the necessary information needed to complete the task. What's going to happen is all of this is going to be done effortlessly, without mistakes, and completely streamlined. It's going to be great for business.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think those are all awesome situations, and there's no iRobot scenario that could possibly come from that. If it's built into the machine, it can't be walking around robot trying to take over.
Very true. The only downside I see, well, not the only downside, but one of the big downsides I see to AI in business, and I'm not sure if Bill Gates had brought this up or Elon Musk, is it's going to take away from human jobs. Yeah,
that's a big concern of mine, I would say. Everything is going to start to be done through AI, and I'm wondering where the future is going to go from there, honestly.
I do not know, my friend. I do not know. But it's going to be very interesting. Going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I guess only time will tell, right?
Yep. Well, that's all I got for this episode. You got anything else you want to touch upon?
No, that's everything I got. I want to thank everybody for listening, and hopefully they continue to listen on in the future and see what we have to say.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. All right, well, I'm Michael and Trevor Tolo, and this is...
I'm Dorch.
All right, we are working for Solution Systems. So, everybody keep doing what you're doing, and we'll see you on the next episode of Two Guys, Coffee and Business. And as always, if you like what you hear, don't forget to share this podcast. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks.